This is a document of my 88 Samurai for sale. I'm putting this on YouTube. I'm going to go through my cheat sheet and give you a look over everything. 88 Samurai hardtop. I'm sure you've seen the pictures in the eBay sale. It's done in Herculiner, which I just recoated with the extra Herculiner I had left over. It has painted bumpers. Did those in Rust-Oleum. Notice the cracked tail light. I have not got that replaced. General Grabber AT2s, which were the highest rated snow tire at the time on Tire Rack. Tread depths 12-30 seconds. They're absolutely mint. See some of the real small rust spots that are on it. And it is a Samurai, so they're kind of notorious for getting rusty. You notice on the bottom I replaced the bottom sills with a 4-inch aluminized exhaust tubing. You can't really tell, but in the pictures you might notice it. And we'll head under the hood, and now we've got the hood open, and you see it has an oversized Duralast battery. Down there is a Chrysler Conquest alternator. Output is 72 amps, though I've got 75 out of it with a VAT40. It's measuring equipment. It's from this car right here, just so you don't think there's anything funny going on there. We have an electric fan, which does not have a thermostat. I had one in here, but it ended up taking a dump on me, so I just the ignition switch. This is a stainless steel shroud. And the radiator, I got bored one afternoon, made that. It's got the Weber carburetor, MSD Blaster 2 ignition coil. It's always been, oil's been changed with Rotella T since the day I had it. Inside, and as you can see, typical worn out Samurai seats. I had Honda Prelude seats in here for a while with custom brackets, but they're just so terribly uncomfortable that I decided to put the stock seats back in. It has custom molded floor mats. As you can see, they are a little worn out, but they do the job. We have a JVC head unit. This is an MP3 CD unit with the auxiliary input down the bottom right corner. As you see up here on the dash, this is a defroster unit on the front dash. And if you're a previous Samurai owner, then you know that when the weather gets down to about -10, you've got to make the terrible choice. Do you want to heat yourself or do you want to defrost the windshield? Well, with this vehicle you don't need to do that, and with the oversized alternator it's not a problem. Down here we have an MTX Pro Thunder 502 amp, which powers the rear speakers. We have Alpine front speakers, which are a little hard to see there. In the back we have a very ugly speaker box, but it does the job. It has 2 Kicker 6x9s in the corners and the cheap speakers that came with one of those $7 Walmart boxes in the center. Sounds really good. As you can see, it's got a brand new headliner. Nothing particularly special there, but it looks really nice. It also has an add-on tack. And these plastic interior panels, which the previous owner put in, I'm not quite sure what brand they are. He claims he made them himself, but I highly doubt that was the case. But they sure do look really nice. I forgot to show you when I did the interior. This vehicle was your typical rusted out Samurai. It did have rust holes everywhere. I welded a 4x8 sheet of, I believe, 16, possibly 18 gauge steel into this vehicle. There are absolutely no holes anywhere. This was all done a few years back. There are no holes anywhere in this vehicle. None whatsoever. So you go up front and show you some of the front floorboard. Oh. There are absolutely no holes. And it's got some rust dust there, but I think that's just from the mats and stuff. But there are no holes anywhere. This vehicle is 100% solid. Alright, here's the bottom side of the vehicle, and we'll start from the back and move our way forward. Back you can see what is rusty and what's not rusty. I've constantly undercoated this vehicle every single year in an effort to keep the rust from coming back. You see the differential housing is a little rusty, but nothing terrible, nothing abnormal. I replaced that side wheel bearing, both side axle seals and brakes in the last year. You can see the exhaust is brand new. I built that last night just because the old muffler, which is laying right there, is getting some pretty good rot on it. I didn't want to sell it, some junk. Moving forward here, it has new U-joints in every single position. I've replaced, not recently, but in the last 3 years since I've owned this thing. You can see the undercoating pretty much everywhere. This is the 3-inch tubing that goes down both sides. Instead of the original rusted out sills of your Samurai owner, you know, they all rust out. Here's the new exhaust. We get to the transmission. The transmission I rebuilt with all new bearings, no synchros, just bearings from Suzuki John. Here's the front axle, and you see the engine does have oil leaks. I'd always planned on replacing this engine with a Volkswagen turbo diesel motor, but never got around to it. Front axle is completely rebuilt from parts from Suzuki John, including new kingpin bearings, wheel bearings, and seal kit. I believe it's a $200 kit that they sell. I've done that with every Samurai I've owned. And you can see the seals don't leak, which is ever so common with the Samurais. And that's about it. How many people you know that put a vehicle on eBay and go through this much trouble to show you everything? And we'll do one more of it starting and running. It's carbureted, pump it obviously. Starts right up, she's bone cold. Go listen to it outside and whatnot. Hasn't idled down yet, but it sounds like in the back. And you might actually notice in the first pictures there was no exhaust tip out the back, because that was the old exhaust. I built that before I even took the first pictures outside. Excuse me, doggy. Listen to the motor. Cameras pick up all kinds of crazy noise, but she sounds pretty much like a normal Samurai. The electric fans just turning away. Well, that's about it.